Hello, and today I'll be teaching you how to crochet a very simple bow that is only made from chains wrapping around and just a little bit of yarn. This is really easy to crochet and you can put it on anything that you want. I will go through this step by step. Let's get started. All you will need for this project is some scissors, a darning needle, and I'm using a size 5mm crochet hook. To start, we're going to make a slip knot. So to do that, just wrap your yarn over, pull the working yarn through. And then you can put your crochet hook inside and tighten it by pulling the working yarn. And then next we're going to be chaining 40. So to chain, you're going to yarn over, put your hook over the yarn, and wrap the yarn around. And then you can pull the first loop through the second loop, just like this. Then you're doing that 39 more times. Yarn over and pull through. That's all you need to do to make a chain. See, it's making these little V shapes. Yarn over, pull through. And continue that a total of 40 times. If you lose count of how many chains you have, you can count the small V's on the chain. So you can see this is a V, that's another V, and another V. And it starts right at the beginning here, right after the slip knot loop. So I'll meet you when we have 40 chains. Okay, I'm just finishing up now. These are my last couple of chains, and now I've got 40 chains. Then you can pull out your loop, just like this, and then trim the end of your yarn. And pull your loop through, and you can tighten it too. Like that. Next, we're going to grab our darning needle so that we can sew in the ends. Thread your needle, and then since it's a chain, we won't have a lot of space to sew it in, but we're going to use the space we have. So I think a good way to do this is just pass it through whatever holes you have. I'm going to sew it on the back side. So this is the front because of the V's, and this is the back, because I'm gonna hide that in the back of my bow. So I'll go through the first back loop here and pull the yarn through. And don't make it too tight, otherwise it'll scrunch up. And then I'm gonna go back down through the second back loop and pull the yarn through. Then to the third. And the fourth, and you could go back down, but I'm not going to because I don't want the bow to be that bulky on the bottom. I'm just gonna keep going up until I feel like the yarn's secure enough, and that'll be good enough for this project. It won't go through too much stress and come out. So then you can cut the yarn. Then you have a kind of seamless looking end there. And now for the other side, we'll do the same thing. Pass your yarn through the back loop. And we'll just do that a couple more times. I feel like that's a good amount. I'll take my needle off and cut the end off. Okay, now we have just the chain with no extra loops or ends. The next thing we're gonna do is think about the shape of your bow. So for this structure, it's kind of crossing it over in something like that kind of shape. Make sure it's symmetrical. and then you'll pinch the middle down. There, that looks like a bow, right? Then just mess with it until it's the size that you like. You can pull on the loops to make them bigger. Yeah, I think I'm kind of happy with that. And then also, you want to make sure that the right side of the chain is on top so it looks the best. You see, this is the back side. It's got those back loops on it. So I'm going to twist this around so it's got the right side on it, that little braid looking thing. And twist it all the way. There we go. I think that looks pretty nice. Okay. And then you're gonna put this down and grab some more yarn. Then for this step, I'm going to get about this much yarn and cut it off. A little extra to be safe. Okay, grab your bow by the middle and turn it around to the back. And then make a loop with your yarn, kind of fold it over and push it right against here. We'll do it sideways. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. It's got a loop there, and then I'll take the rest of the yarn and wrap it around. I'm gonna wrap it about 4 times so it's not too bulky. Okay, and then see that loop we made first? We'll take your yarn and pass it through the loop. Just like that. And now it's all passed through. And then on the other side, you've got the end. So you can pull the end, and it's gonna make a little knot. See, that's forming a knot. So pull it until it's under all those wraps. Just like that. And then you can pull both sides so that the knot's nice and tight. There we go. And then before I get rid of the ends, I need to make sure my bow still looks good. It got a little warped during that. So right now you can still mess with the sides and make sure it's all even. There we go. That looks nice. Then for the ends here, I'm going to grab my darning needle again and thread my needle with one of the ends. This one's a little short, so it's a bit hard, but all you gotta do is poke it back into where you made that wrapping and pull it across. This is just to make sure it gets all tucked in there and doesn't get messed up. And then you can take that and cut it right off. Do the same thing with the other one. Cut it right off. Oop. And then that is everything. Make your bow. It looks like the ends here kind of came out a bit, so you can just cut that even closer. There we go. And then you can put this on maybe a hair clip or a bobby pin or anything you really want. Thanks for watching.